folks, I'm Jonathan Wilson. It's another Bistro blog, and well, who is Jonathan Wilson and what's a guitar viol? Well, maybe I can get somewhere on that a little bit tonight. Well, maybe I'll first answer what a guitar viol is, and that kind of maybe crosses over the other thing. A guitar viol is essentially like a bowed guitar, really. It's like a guitar formatted viola, kind of a distant cousin to, say, the viola da gamba, and also a lesser known instrument called the arpeggione, which came around in 1823, invented by Stouffer. There was only a few of those built, so it never really took off. Apparently Stouffer was just before his time. He wasn't around during the time when all these film composers are doing very cool things with it. And that leads me to a couple of other things. One is that this, like a guitar, is tuned E, A, D, G, B, E, so we have the same tuning. So we can play the same chords. The difference is it's less of a plucked instrument, although we can. But it's also the attraction of the bow expression, which you can add to guitar chords. Like the viola da gamba, it has a underhand grip to the bow. We can vary the bows out. I actually use also something else called an incredibow, which is sort of a high-tech graphite fiber bow. And it's a little shorter. It's more of a viola kind of width, and I find that different bows are pretty good for different attacks, different tricks, and all that kind of stuff. And but it's a very fully expressive instrument once you get used to playing one of these. It's almost like having this sustained but controllable Hendrixian feedback, you know? And you can see it's fretted. These are what we call stealth frets, which are kind of a proprietary, they're like scallop, but they're done a different way, and we find that this lends really well to the bowing aspect of it. Although it does have that when we can be fretted, we can also be fretless at will just by changing our technique. So what is a guitar viol? Well, it's something that I created and envisioned. It's my vision of something that, I got into neoclassical, heavy metal, and rock when I was younger. There was a guy named Ulrich Roth who played a sky guitar, and sky guitar was a higher fretted guitar that fit his artistic vision. And I thought, as much as that this is what fit my artistic vision, and so I went there. So in any event, I stumbled upon information on the arpeggione in the days before Google and the encyclopedia, back around '89. And over the years, I slowly got a prototype together and played it. And I never planned on reproducing these instruments or getting into the business of building them. But that's kind of, life has a funny way of, making itself go that way. So in the early 2000s, about 2001 and 2002, I redesigned an electric version, which you can see an example hanging over here somewhere. And those you've heard in a lot of different films. Heitor Pereira used it in Curious George, and then eventually Tyler Bates made it famous in the movie 300. And from there, just a whole host of TV and film composers have been using it. Kevin Kiner uses it on CSI Miami, Nate Barr, True Blood, and very recently, Eisler, who has been getting multiple awards at Sundance, at South by Southwest, Just last night I watched the first premiere of a TV series on ABC called Revenge, and he uses his GuitarViol quite a bit. So what is a GuitarViol? Well, you've probably heard it a lot more than you think. I've played GuitarViol in a video game called Borderlands. Also very recently one I can't quite disclose, but it is from a major producer. And so hopefully that'll get wrapped and mixed and I can talk about it a little bit more. I also, as an artist, I'm recording an album for Lakeshore Records, which will be comprised of mostly guitar, viol music. A lot of the tracks will probably have some other guitar work in there too, or just various, kind of a soundscape-ish, kind of sound library-ish kind of thing. But stuff that's very close to my heart outside of just the heavy driving pop and, you know, I'm a metalhead from the day too, so I like to get that out every now and then. I'm actually featuring, this is a guitar here, for example, I just built only for myself, and it was just an experimental flamenco guitar. I like playing that. I'm working on also steel string versions of this. That would be, you know, a flat top that kind of looks like this, only it's a guitar. So got a lot of things going on here. I wanted to just talk really quickly about the one that's I'm holding right now. This is called the Bistro Model, and this one's made exclusively out of North American hardwoods. So we're staying on this continent here, getting some responsibly harvested stuff, but I'm telling you that just even in my experience building a lot of these, that walnut, this is made of walnut, has some very nice striping, compliments of Jude, who's been one of my apprentices here, and been getting quite a creative team going. And it's you know, it's a Sitka spruce, and just a very wonderful playing and sounding example of one of these instruments. And these we're making more available. We've been ramping up in our tooling and getting things more organized to do that. I've been historically for the last I would say at least 9 years have been backlogged, usually by anywhere from 6 to 9 months, and in some cases up to 2 years. And I think I'm going to be morphing away from that model a little bit and actually making ones like this a little more available. And if you want a custom electric or electro, you'll probably still be on the wait queue. However, there's you know, there's always going to be some more exciting things we're working on. In terms of services I offer, I also do some Pro Tools, as you can see back here, and I do sessions over the net. People who want to learn a little bit more about the GuitarViol and the techniques of playing it, which differ, by the way, quite a bit from violin and cello. I'll describe that a little bit. This is called a leg peg, and it rests under the right leg. And if the instrument's held correctly, we can actually get it to self-balance, and we can get it into sort of a semi-vertical, semi-horizontal, but not quite, you know, a little more vertical playing stance. Of course, we can kind of tip it over like this too if we really want to get into it. This stabilizes the instrument, so now we can have it with more of an underhand grip with the bow. Very much like a dagamba player would have. But this also has the instrument so that it just touches only a couple points of the body, no touching, you know, on the back or anything like that, and getting a much more, you know, like open, you know, sound with the side sound ports. When we hold it between the legs like a dagamba, which you can do, it's not against the law yet, but I find it does choke a little bit of the sound out of it. Just like anything, if you're playing a violin, you're going to be choking it out a little bit, or, you know, legging a cello too much. So if you kind of keep the contact really minimal, you can get a lot more resonance out of the instrument. Didn't mean to go down that road, but hey, you know, it's all fun stuff and that we're doing around here. And anyway, if you'd like more information on what we do, what I do, what these instruments do, or what I can perhaps do for your project, please feel free to contact me through my website, which is www.guitarviols.com, and that's GuitarViols.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Be inspired.